right? So today we will be seeing about the new methods in Java. So there is a method like forName method, and there is a method like newInstance method. So at times we will be using these methods for different purposes, right? For different purposes, we will be using this kind of methods. We will understand why one has to go for this forName method, and when exactly one can use this newInstance method. I'll give you that understanding. Give me a minute. Right. Before even exactly getting to know about these two methods, and I will help you with a scenario. Okay, the scenario is like this. Let us say that I have a package ABC. So inside my package, I have two classes. One is class A, and the second one is what? Second one is class B. Right? Inside each and every class, I have placed a static block. So I have a static block inside class A, and I have a static block inside class B. So that is a main method, right? So we know this. The moment I start compiling, the moment I start, the executing this, right? So what are the things that would happen exactly? Let me just take this in the paintbrush. Okay, this is my code. So inside package ABC, and anyhow, I will be saving this code with the .java extension. I would be preferring b.java because the class B is the main class, right? So the compilation will be there and the execution will be there, and the compilation will generate .class files, and we know how many .class files will be generated. So this is the job of the compiler. Compiler will usually generate two .class files. One is a.java, the second one is what? b.java. Okay, and after the .class file generation, and you need to execute the main method, right? So for that, JVM will come into the picture. So class B as the main method. So class B as the main method. So the typical syntax is Java space B. So the moment you give the command Java space B, b.java will be loaded inside the JVM. b.java is going to get loaded inside the JVM, right? At the time of loading this b.java, I'm sorry, not b.java, it's b.class file. So they generate .class files, isn't it? Let me remove this. A.class and b.class. Okay, the moment I give Java space b.class file will be loaded inside the JVM, right? At the time of loading, if there is any static content, that will be recognized and executed. So the static block will be recognized and executed. So far, it's good. So when I want to, load the a.class file, so dynamically I need to give an instructions in such a way that the a.class file is getting loaded. So how will I give the instructions dynamically? So in the program, I can just create an object for the class A. When I say A, obj equal to new A. So we know this, okay, dynamically, we are creating an object for the class A, right? So this is an independent class. So I am creating an object for the class A. So before even creating an object, the JVM will consume the a.class file first, right? So this line will ensure that, okay, by adding this new line, we is going to ensure that, right, the main thread gets created, main thread gets access to the main method. The first instruction is what? Object creation is happening for the class A, right? So a.class file is not even loaded inside the JVM. So the moment the main thread recognize the object creation for the class A, so dynamically a.class file has to get loaded. So this a.class files will be getting loaded dynamically, because that is instruction that we have given. So these things are very clear. Okay, we are able to witness these things. So through these instructions, we are able to say which .class file is getting loaded. But my requirement is, I do not want to create an object. My requirement is what? I do not want to do the object creation. I do not want to create an object for the class A. But still, I want to do what? I want to load the .class file of A. Understand my question? without creating an object, I want to find a way to load my a.class file into the JVM. So I want to load it manually. So what is my requirement? My requirement is very clear. Okay. Requirement says I don't want to create an object for the class. In our example, always I can say that I do not want to create an object for any class dynamically, but what I want the dot class file to be loaded inside the JVM. Okay. If this is my requirement, dot class file to JVM manually. If this is my requirement, how I can proceed further? So if this is the requirement, I can comfortably go for what? Go for the method like forName method, which is inside the class. The name of the class is class itself. So I will be using the following method. Manually. This can be achieved by using the method which is forName method, which is part of the class. The name of the class is class itself. The class name is class itself. So when I say, if I have a class A, so now I can say that the name of the class is class A. If I have class B, I can say that my name of the class is class B. If I have class. Okay. So this is my class name is class itself, but in uppercase. Okay. There is a method called forName method, which is part of what? Which is part of the class itself. Have you understood so far about the requirement? Can I get yes in the chat box? Can you say yes? Have you understood so far what is my exact requirement? Able to follow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now let us try to increase our understanding. Let us deep dive into it. Okay. Prototype. So when I say prototype, so this is the product public. Instead of prototype, let me use the word like syntax. Okay. Public static. Okay, the name of the class is class itself, and inside that there is a method called forName method, and it is going to throw exception. Throw class not found exception. Don't worry about this throws keyword. Okay, for now, try to understand it like there are high chances that the class that you are trying to load may not be available, or may be missing. So that needs to be handled by the JVM, right? So in order to handle that, okay, we go for the throws keyword, which is what? Which is going to throw class not found exception. I will help you with a small example. Class not found exception. Okay, so this class is the return type. Right, return type cannot only be like integer or float or double, or what we call character or boolean. So these are the return types which is coming under the primitive data types. Okay, and we can also have a return type like the complex data types, which can be the name of the class. For example, if a class name is A, the return type can be the name of the class itself, right? String complex return type, like string buffer complex return type. Like that, the class itself is also a return type. So this is like taking a place of the return type. So you used to see, right, void, integer, float, double. So in that place, you are placing return type as class itself. For now, just try to understand. Part is the name of the class, which is class itself, and this is occupying the return type space. Okay, this is the typical syntax of what? Syntax of class.forName. Okay, this is going to accept an argument which is something in the form of string, which is something like fully qualified. Qualified, fully qualified. With some examples, this part will be very much clear. Okay. Let me write a small program. So I have the package ABC. So I have two classes, right? And I have another package XYZ, and I have a class which is by the name of C, and I have a static block. And inside this, I also want to place something like a method. Okay. Let me say my method is something like public static void addition. Okay, the name of the method is addition method, and inside this, let me write a statement like system dot out dot println. Right. Okay. Let me save this. The focus here, I am trying to save this two codes. File save. Let me save this as c.java. C.java. Okay. And let me save this as b.java. Okay, so I have two packages, guys. Package ABC has two classes, and package XYZ has only one class. So let me do the compilation. So the command prompt is pointing to the right directory. So how I can compile java c space, okay, hyphen d space dot space star dot. Star means all the .java files will be compiled together. Since I have two .java files, I want to compile those two Java files to at the same time. So I'm using star. Instead of compiling it one by one, I can directly go for star. Okay, let me perform the execution. The execution is like Java space abc dot package name followed by the class name. Okay, so it is giving SBB and SBA. Okay, because we are creating we are loading the b.class file. So at the time of loading the b.class file, static block of class B is getting recognized and executed. After which you get to see the main thread is getting created, and main thread gets access to the main method on demand in the runtime. So what is happening in the runtime? The runtime, you're creating an object for the class A. So on demand, you're loading the a.class file into the memory. So static block of class A is getting recognized and executed. But I want to do it what? Instead of creating an object, I just want to do it manually. Just want to do it what? I want to do it manually. How I can do it manually? I can use Class.forName. Okay, which dot class file I want to load manually? I want to load a.class file, right? I need to give the fully qualified name. What is a fully qualified name? Fully qualified name comes with the package name followed by the class name. So this is accepting. This for name method is going to accept a parameter, a string parameter of fully qualified name. What is string parameter? Anything that you will be placing in the double quotes. String parameter, right? And what is a fully qualified name? ABC is the package name. Dot. What is a class name? A is the class. So this time I'm trying to load I'm giving an instructions to the JVM saying that, hey JVM, can you load the dot class file? I'm using the forName method, which is giving the instruction to the JVM saying that, please load the dot class file, which is inside the package ABC and of class A. It is going to load the respective dot class file, right? So let me again save this and let me execute this. Okay, I think you will be getting an error now. You will be getting a kind of exception. Unreported exception, class not found exception must be caught or declared. Okay, why it is coming? Look at the prototype. Look at the syntax. So whenever you're using this, you should ensure that you are using the throws keyword so that you delegate this exception. Okay. So for now, just use this throws keyword in the next to the main method. So it is just like this guy. See what I'm doing here. Let me put it in a different way to understand these exception things. This is my code. It's just like, for example, once upon a time, I went to my college. Okay, I went to my college and to submit my record notes. So record notes needs to be submitted on so and so date. So they have given me some date. Okay? So I missed that date. Okay, I missed that date and I just submitted after 2 days after the last day. 2 days after the last day. Okay, so my HOD is not there to collect my record books. I went there to my college. My HOD he was not there to collect my record notes. What I was told that submit your record notes to the principal. The principal. Place the record notes in the principal room. Right? I did the same thing. I did place the record notes in the principal room. However, every other record notes are there in. So we are totally 60. I'm among 60 students. So there were 60 students in my class. I am one among them, right? But only 59 record are in the HOD room, and my record note was in the principal room. Okay, there was the examination. Okay, there was a laboratory exam, internal examination. There was a laboratory examination. Okay, and the lab instructor, as I mean the lab what we call it as the assistant, was told that collect all the record notes which are in the HOD room. Right. So he is a lab assistant, and he was told to collect all the record notes which are in the HOD room. He was said clearly that 60 record notes will be there inside the HOD room. He believed that he went there to collect the record notes, but he has found only 59 record notes. One is missing. He has no idea that my record note is in the principal room. He is not aware of that. But he was instructed in such a way that collect all the record notes which are inside the HOD room, and he was under the impression that okay, there will be 60 record notes, but unfortunately he is finding only 59. Right? So here there is a kind of what? There is a kind of misinformation. Okay, there is no clarity, there is a misinformation, and also the data is not perfect. So you are saying that okay, the assistant, okay, the lab assistant has been instructed in such a way that he was told to collect the record notes which is inside the HOD room. He has given the number also, 60 record notes will be there, but he has found only 59. Whose mistake is this? Is it lab assistant mistake, or is it a mistake of the person who is instructing the lab assistant, or is it my mistake? We cannot judge here. Okay, we cannot judge here whose mistake is that. This is a kind of exception. Okay, you don't. These things are not happening deliberately or wantedly. These are the exceptional things. It occurs very rarely, right? For example, if you are going to an exam hall, okay, it is your duty to take the hall ticket. Without hall ticket, you will not be permitted inside the exam hall. So no, without hall ticket, you will not be permitted. You will ensure that all ticket is taken, pen is taken, and also eraser is taken, everything is taken. But at the time of writing the exam, you got fainted. You got what? You got fainted. Okay. So this fainting is something, it occurs very rarely, isn't it? It is a kind of exception, right? This is not, this is out of the syllabus, I can say. It is not accepted, exceptional thing. And likewise, even in Java also, you would be giving an instruction to the main thread, okay, to load what? To load a dot class file, right? This main thread will be searching for this a dot class file in the current location in the Java predefined library or in the class path. And it will be searching in all locations. Sometimes it may not find this a dot class files because of the developer's mistake. Instead of putting B, he might have placed A. Instead of placing B, he might have placed A. Due to developer mistake, the main thread could not find this exact dot class file. Okay, so if it is not finding this, if there is no concept of exception handling, it is going to keep searching forever. There is no stop for it. It is going to believe you and it is going to keep searching. Even after searching each and every hook and corner, it is going to come back and see there is no such dot class file. Okay? If it is finding no such dot class file after checking each and every part in the operating system, right? It has to send a message. It has sent a message by saying that the respective class not found. So it is going to throw an exception. Class not, that is what the class not found exception. So this is the basic part of this exception. I am just trying to help you to understand why did I use this class not found exception. It's an exception. Sometimes you may be asking the JVM to load a dot class file. It may not be there. It might have been deleted accidentally. In such cases, it has to handle instead of, okay, after this you might be having a lot of important statements. System.out.println and something like you might be having a lot of important codes after this that needs to get executed. But because of this exception, this code might not get executed. The program will get terminated abnormally. There should be a message to the end user saying that there is an exception occurred. Should not get terminated like this. Should not get terminated like this. It says there might be an exception. Please catch that or declare to be thrown. I am just using throw keyword. Okay. So these things we will understand in detail in the exception handling topic. For now, this is going to, you need to ensure that whenever using this for name method, you need to ensure that you are delegating the exception in the main method. Throws class not found exception. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, let me run this code now. Now you see SBB, right? Now did I create an object for the class A? I did not create any object for the class A, but I am trying to load the dot class file manually. Yes or no? Dot class file is being loaded manually. Okay, sir, let me, instead of using abc.a, can I just load xyz.c? XYZ is a different package and C is a different class. Okay, let us do that. XYZ.C. Okay, here also I am loading the dot class file manually. A C dot class file I am loading manually. Right. So let me run this code. What output we will be getting? Let's SBC. Static block of class C. Now you will be able to see SBC is getting this line instruction is getting executed, which means dot class file of class is getting loaded. So I am able to load the dot class file manually just by using what? Just by using class.forName method. Right? So now let me give you some notes. Please be informed. Please be informed that the moment you give fully qualified name, the for name method, fully qualified name as the parameter in the for name method, the main thread is going to search for the dot class file in the three locations. In our example, so what is instruction that I have given? This is instruction that I have given. right? So it is going to search for this dot class file, okay, c dot class file in three locations, okay. The first location is in the current location. Second location is in the Java predefined library. The third one is in the class path environmental variable. And if the required dot class file not identified by the JVM at all the three locations, we throw exception called as not found exception. Okay, let us trace this once again for the better clarity. So this is my code. Everything is contained in a package ABC, right? You would be saving this with .java extension, which is what b.java, right? And there is a compiler and there is a JVM, right? Compiler is going to generate the dot class files, right? So dot class file are generated by the compiler. What is the project structure? If you see, based upon the packages, the dot class files are placed inside where? Inside this directory. Excuse me. Two dot class files generated and they are placed inside the this location. This is the path. This is the path, absolute path, right? So A dot class file and B dot class file, right? So JVM is coming into the picture, right? And you activate the JVM by giving the command like Java C space ABC dot Java, ABC dot the respective dot class file B. The moment you give B, okay, the B dot class file will be loaded, right? This is very straightforward. So B dot class file will be loaded and all the static content inside the B dot class file will get executed. So SBB will get executed, right? After doing this, the main thread gets created, isn't it? The main thread gets access to the main method. What is the post instructions in the main method? You're using class.forName and you are instructing the JVM to load the dot class file of C, xyz.c. What did I just say? The moment you give this instruction, it is going to look for the dot class file in ideally in three locations. First location is in the current directory. Current directory. What is the current directory? This is the current directory, right? D inside the D drive, Java 2 folder. Okay, we'll search inside the D drive. Where is the D drive? D drive, Java 2 folder. Inside the current directory, it will search for what? It will search for this absolute path. What is an absolute path that we have given? xyz.c. xyz.c. Current directory. xyz.c. Right? Inside this current, this is a current directory. Inside this current directory, it will search for xyz.c. So there is an xyz here. C dot class file is here. Right? So this C dot class file is found and it will be loaded. C dot class file is found and it is going to get loaded. C dot class file is found in the current directory, and this is going to get loaded. At the time of loading the C dot class file, if there is any static content, okay, where is C dot class file? This is the C dot Java file. Inside this, static content is recognized and executed. The output is going to be what? SBC. So far, so good. What I want to do now is, the moment I start giving something like xyz dot f, I want to load a dot class file that is not even existent. Okay, inside the package xyz, I have only class C, but I want to load a dot class file, f dot class file. So there is no f dot class file. What would happen the moment you give this command? Okay, JVM will do its job. JVM is going to do its job. Okay, I just want to remove this statement. Want to see how the JVM is going to handle this instruction. This one, handle this instruction. XYZ dot f. Okay, it will try to search for this f dot class file, ideally in 3 locations. F dot class file will be searched ideally in 3 locations. First is inside the current directory. What is the current directory? So this is the current directory. D Java 2 folder ABC. Okay. In the current directory, it would fail to recognize this dot class file in the current directory. Okay. Second one is in the Java predefined library. It will search inside the Java. We have downloaded Java software, right? Along with the Java software, there will be some dot class files which is used for us, used for the developers. Like we have string files, we have we have string buffer dot class file. There are so many dot class files that you can use, which is available in the Java predefined library. In the predefined library, it will look for the painful is going to check if there is any dot class file which I have just mentioned, like f dot class file, the Java predefined library. The third one is in the class path environment variable. So it's a third party location. Sometimes where when in future you will be dealing with the databases, Oracle databases, MySQL databases. You want to establish a connection between Java program and the databases. It will depend upon the third party dot class files, which is going to help you to establish a connection with the respective database. Okay, for now, just keep in mind there is a location called class path environmental environment variables. Okay, it is going to look for this. Look if the dot class file is available in the current directory, not available in Java predefined library, not available in class path environment, it will not be available. After looking into these 3 things, if the required dot class file is not available, it is going to throw an exception. What exception is going to throw? We will see. Let me save this. Let me run this once again. Let me compile this. In the compile time, you are not getting any error. Okay. So you will get error in the runtime because JVM is coming into the picture. JVM is actually doing the searching things, right? It is actually checking whether the dot class file is there or not. That's why compiler is not doing any error. Okay. Now you see exception in the thread main java.lang.class not found exception xyz.f. So you are giving an instruction to the JVM to look for this dot class file. But JVM believed you, trusted you, and it started looking for this f.class file. But at last, it is not finding this, so it has thrown this exception. Right? So why I am saying all these things is, the moment you start, whenever you are using this class.forName, right? You get an interview question like this, your answer should be like this. So it is going to find the dot class file in 3 locations. Current location, Java predefined libraries in the current class path and not variables. If this is not found in all 3 locations, it will throw an exception like what? Class not found exception. This is all the exception. Okay. So what are the other benefits that you are going to get by, okay, for example, let me load the dot class file that is available. Let me keep the C itself. Okay. Let me keep the C itself. If you look at the prototype, okay, let me help you to see the prototype once again. Look at the syntax. The syntax says, okay, the return
Sir,
type.
your voice is good, sir.
Okay, okay. Is it audible now?
Yes, sir.
If you see the syntax says return type is class itself, right? So let me use the class. Let me use a variable name like x. So this is going to return a type, a kind of type, which is the class type itself. I am catching the return type by using the return type as class, and I am assigning a variable name like x. You can keep any variable name. Let me take a, let me take b, anything you can keep. Let me take obj. Is going to return a type which is called class type, because as per the syntax, return type is class. If it is integer, you catch it with the int data type. If it is float, you catch it with float data. Since it is class, you have to catch it with the class data type itself. So we will understand these things better in the upcoming topics. Okay, for now, since the return type is class, you are catching it with the class type itself. What I am doing is, this forName method is going to help you to get the metadata of the given class. Metadata is all kind of information. Name information, package information, constructors information, classes information. For example, let me say system.out.println. Okay, I want to do what? I want to give obj dot get. By using this reference, I want to get the name of the class. So let me run this. xyz.c. So it is giving you the class is, there's a class in the package xyz. This is one of the metadata. Metadata is a kind of data that is going to talk about the complete class structure. Okay, you get all the information related to the class package and the how many constructors are there. What kind of return type it is going to give. Every information that you can see. Right. Now let me take something like get name. There is something like get package also there. Okay, there is something like obj dot get constructors. Constructors also there. There is something like obj dot get classes. Okay, let me execute this. So you get the class name, you get the package name xyz. So this constructor information is giving the information in the form of the metadata. Don't worry about this. The hexadecimal format, and you have the class information which is giving the output in the form of metadata. So all this comes under the concept of metadata. So this utilization is something like you don't use this very often. Okay, in the real-time application development, you don't use this very often, but sometimes you get to know something about the dot class file. What kind of file is it? What is the what are the constructors it has? Just for the identification purpose, we will be using this in the reflection APIs concepts and all. These are the future topics. So for now, this forName method ideally is used to load the dot class. That is more than enough, and this theory is more than enough for the pressure level or for the experience level also. This theory is more than enough. Sometimes you will be getting a question like when you will get class not found exception. Good answer. By using the class.forName method, when you try to load the .class file by giving the fully qualified name, the JVM is going to search for this .class file in 3 locations. Okay, if it is not finding the .class file, then you will come across this exception, which is called class not found exception. Okay, this is all about what? This is all about the class.forName. Okay, now if you see, if you observe one thing, we have loaded C.class file. But inside the inside the class C, there is a method called, there is an addition method. Usually we know, we are good in, okay, let us imagine that we are not using this, class.forName. I am loading this manually. Something like, I want to load what? I want to execute the addition method, which is part of class C. Right? and the class is part of package XYZ. How we can choose? First, I need to import this, right? Because both are different packages. Import package name dot class name. After importing, I need to create an object for the class C, C obj equal to new C. After creating an object, with the help of obj reference, I can call the method that is there inside the class. What is the method? Addition method, right? So I need to go through these many steps, isn't it? Import is mandatory. After importing, okay, object creation is mandatory. After the object creation, right? I'm assuming that the method is not static. Let me take the method as the non-static method. Object creation is mandatory, and also calling that method with help of object reference is also mandatory. This will ensure that I get the I can call the method that I like. What is it? Okay. Small correction. Whenever I'm let me keep it as public. Okay. Access modifier concepts. Okay. Addition method is getting invoked now. Now my intention is I do not want to create an object. I do not want to do the import, but still I want to call the addition method, which is part of class C, which is inside the package XYZ. Addition method is where, guys? Addition method is inside class C, right? This class C is part of package XYZ. Without doing all this, I do not want to do this. I do not want to import it. I do not want to create an object. I do not want to call. Do not want to do all these things. I just want to use the class.forName method. With this, I want to call this method. I want to call this method. How I can do that? How I can do that? Okay, there is a method called newInstance method. What is it? There is a method called newInstance method. Okay. So with this help of the object reference obj dot, I can call newInstance method. Right? So this newInstance method, what is this newInstance method? Ideally, the newInstance method is like, so you do not want to create an object, but we want to load the dot class file by using what? By using the fully qualified name. By using class.forName. Inside the forName, you will be using what? You will be using the fully qualified name, right? And you want to call a method that is part of the fully qualified name. Okay, in that case, you will be going for what? You will be going for a method called newInstance method. Right? So how this newInstance method is going to help us out? Very simple. I have already written a code for this. Wait, guys. It is not there. Okay, no issues. Okay, let me give you some theory about newInstance method. NewInstance. Okay, what is a newInstance method? A newInstance method creates a new object of a class represented in the class.forName. For example, please be informed that new instance method part of class and the constructor constructor class is used to create a new object. Don't worry about this statement. I will give you the justification for this. Okay. So when I say object.obj.newInstance, this is going to return something like, let me keep the reference variable as x. For the time being, I am taking the name of the variable as x. Okay, let me take this as what? Let me take this as object itself. Object x is equal to obj.newInstance. Okay. By using this reference variable as, I can call the method addition method, which is part of class A. So here you are not creating the object directly. First thing is you are just loading the .class file by using class.forName. Okay, after loading it, you don't want to create an object, but still you want to load it. So you have loaded it by using this instruction, right? After loading it, what if you want to call a method that is part of class C? That is part of addition is a part of class. You want to call this addition method, but you do not want to create an object. In that case, what would happen? The new instance method is coming into the picture. You just call obj by using this obj reference variable. You call the new instance method. Okay, this will help you to create an object, and you are assigning it to the reference variable of what? Reference variable x. Right? With the help of reference variable as, you are doing what? You are just assigning this to the reference variable x. So by using this reference variable, what you can do? You can just call this object. So is a dot c. Okay. I will explain you this code 1 minute. Focus on this code. Only this part I am taking, the paintbrush. This is little complicated. Try to understand this. You have to focus here. So this is okay. So c.class file is going to get loaded. This instruction is going to load what? c.class file will be loaded inside the JVM. This is very straightforward. We have just discussed this. Okay. The c.class file is going to get loaded, right? After loading this, static contact will be recognized and executed, right? So after this, what I am doing, I am loading the .class file manually. I am not doing the object creation. So my intention is not this c.obj equal to new c. If this is my intention, I can use this reference variable and I can call the respective method. But since this is not my intention, I am loading the .class file manually, right? So I have an option to create an object in a different way. So I am taking this reference variable obj, right? Obj, I am calling a method called newInstance method. Obj.newInstance. Okay, this is going to help me. It is same like, okay, this line is same like new Okay, this line is equivalent to new C, right? So the return type of obj.newInstance is what? The return type of this is the superclass of all the classes, which is what? Which is the object class, which is X. X is the user defined variable. Return type of obj.newInstance is what? The return type of obj.newInstance is something like the object itself. I am taking the X as a reference variable, right? So this line, what I'm wantedly doing, the type is object type. I am converting this object type to the class type. I am doing a kind of type casting here. See guys, this is the X variable, reference variable, right? This X reference variable is of what type? This is of what? Object type. I am doing a kind of type casting. So since I did not discuss the type casting concept, this is not going to make any sense for you. So we can ideally think like this. I am just trying to convert it to the equivalent to the actual type. So X is of object type. I am trying to convert this X to the equivalent class type. What is the class type that I am working on? C is the class type. So C is part of which package? XYZ package. I'm converting this reference variable, which is of object type, to the class types that I'm working on, right? And after the conversion, I am taking another reference variable obj1. It can be anything. Meaningfully, I'm taking it as obj1, right? And I am keeping the type as the class type itself. What type I want to keep it? XYZ of C. This is a kind of the class level typecasting. Okay, a kind of class level typecasting. This object type is converted to the actual class type. Okay, after this conversion, now I have complete control of the reference variable obj1. By using this obj1 inside the class C, if I have any methods, if I have any variables, if I have any static content, if I have any non-static content, all the things that are there inside the class C can be accessed. Since I have what? I have the non-static method, I can access. If I have static method also, I can access. If I have non-static variables also, I can access. If I have the, I know what we call it as static variables also, I can access. Okay, so this concept is called as what? Typecasting. So this will be discussed in 2 to 3 classes. Okay, I am converting the type to the equivalent class type. Typecasting, class level typecasting is called as. Till now, hold your patience. Till over there, your confusion will be clear. So try to what can I say? Try to get used to this keywords. Get used to this methodologies. I can say. Get used to this kind of conversions. Okay, there is something like a kind of conversion. When the return type is something, I want to convert that to the equivalent class type. I'm just using the cast operator. What is a cast operator? Opening and closing brackets is a cast operator. Here I will be putting the equivalent class name so that my reference variable will be converted to this class type so that I can have the complete control over it. Okay, by using this reference variable, I can call the obj. I can call it respective method. Okay. But there is a problem here. Now you will see something here. Now this case, please be informed that when you call, whenever a new instance method is called, the JVM will look for the no argument instructor inside the respective class. For example, if I am trying to load c.class file manually by using class.forName. After doing this, what I am also doing is I am using the newInstance method. This new instance method will try to find if is there any no argument constructor, something like this. Any no, since I'm loading c.class file, it will try to find the constructor which is not accepting any argument. In our example, if you go to the C class, by default compiler will place a constructor, right? Compiler will place a default constructor public. The no argument constructor will be placed by the compiler. So let us say that if I'm trying to place something like integer a, okay, this is an argument constructor. I am placing it wantedly. I am placing this an argument constructor. Let me compile and execute. It says java.lang.instantiation exception because it is looking for the no argument constructor. Okay, the JVM will try to find the no argument constructor, but instead of no argument constructor, it is finding a constructor which is accepting an argument. It is not acceptable. Okay, what is a takeaway here? Whenever using new instance method on a particular object reference, obj is loading the c.class. Inside the class C, it will ideally try to find the no argument constructor. If you are not keeping any no argument constructor, you will get this error exception. Java.lang.instantiation exception. Okay, you should ensure that there is a no argument constructor placed always. If not, you will get a following exception. You will get a following exception. How I can avoid this exception? Simply by placing a no argument constructor. You can have any number of argument constructor, okay, but at least there should be one no argument constructor. So I am placing a no argument constructor here. Now in this way I can avoid getting an exception in the runtime. Now there is no exception. The first case, it will try to find the no argument constructor, and also it should be a non-private constructor. For example, I have a no argument constructor here. But if I place this as a private constructor, now see what kind of exception you will be getting. There should be no argument constructor, and also it should be a what? It should be a non-private. If I am keeping a private constructor, it is going to give me an exception like illegal access exception. Please be informed that the no argument constructor has to be a non-private constructor. This is violated, you will get the below runtime exception. Illegal access exception. So when you will get instantiation exception, if you are not placing the no argument constructor, if there is no argument constructor, okay, you will get illegal instantiation exception. But if you place no argument, but if you keeping it as private, you will get illegal access exception. To avoid both, I should place a no argument constructor. It can be public or it can be protected or it can be default, but not private. Okay, let me place default, you will not get any issues. Okay, I did not save this. Okay, so different package, right? This is part of B package and this part of C package, right? So default is not accepted. Let me keep public itself. Let me keep addition method. So it should be the no argument